All right, we're live.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our November edition of Other People's Books. We are streaming from our homes this month because it's getting cold out and the drive to the bookstore is going to start getting difficult.
Marissa says it's sleeting down there, so that no.
But I'm Suleikha Snyder, a contemporary paranormal and erotic romance author. Marie.
I'm Marie Piper. I write historical romance.
And who are you?
Who am I? I'm typing. No, I'm Marissa Backlund, and I am not an author. I co-own a romance bookstore, and I also teach as my day job.
Yay! Yay, teachers!
Yay, teachers, and yay, romance bookstores.
Yes.
So let's kick off with what we've been reading lately before we launch into our themed recommendations.
Right.
So,
are you having at all a difficult time reading lately? Because I usually read something very steadily. I'm always reading something, but I was in a funk. And like 2 weeks went by. I didn't read anything other than my phone, which, is great for my brain. But then I I don't know how this came into my house, but I stumbled into this recent Harlequin historical, The Housekeeper of Thornhallow Hall.
Oh.
I loved this.
It looks very gothic-y. Is it gothic-y?
Exactly. It has huge gothic energy. This is from August. So it's an August one. She is a housekeeper, she's got a secret, so she's on the run, and she takes the position as the housekeeper of this big, creepy old gothic estate. They've had 17 housekeepers in 10 years. The staff is whatever, and they do the bare minimum because the owner, Duke, maybe whatever, he hasn't been there in years. And so they just do the bare minimum, and she arrives and she's like, this won't work. So she, of course, changes everything and makes it all better. But then Hero arrives back and he's furious. And then maybe there's ghosts in the ad. Anyway, it's terrific. Just huge gothic energy. I really loved this.
I'm going to have to borrow it from you probably, because I do love a good gothic once in a while.
This was like a snack. I ate it in one session. Great work. It's by Lottie R. James. Okay. But then on the Harlequin historical train that I apparently went on, Twitter was all abuzz about a book this month recently, and I got it from the library. A Nun for the Viking Warrior.
Oh my, a nun and a Viking.
Yes. This is also a snack, and I'm enjoying it tremendously too. So that is worth your time. Great concept, great title, great cover. And I'm in.
I feel like we were talking about some nun-related romance a couple sessions ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it was it the Anne Stewart one where I can't remember.
Yes.
The Lindsay Sands.
Yes.
She was raised by nuns.
By nuns. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was about to take her vows.
Right. Yes.
And I actually when I was reading it, I made a little note on my phone of thoughts. I was like, one of them is, your cucumber is not as big as Angus's. Her name is the donkey or something.
Cucumber shade. Cucumber shade.
Oh my! Really, we're vegetable shaming in this book. Wow.
Right up a donkey, I guess.
Oh, wow.
This is going great.
I remember your cucumber is not as big as Angus's.
So this, A Nun for the Viking Warrior, reminded me of Always by Lindsay Sands, which if you know me, you know that is the highest praise I can give a book. I love it. Opens and all the nuns are inside, right? And she's on the verge of taking her vows. She is not a full-on nun yet. And the Norsemen are breaking down the door, and they're like, oh no. And so they open it so they don't destroy the door. And the lead brute Norseman guy walks in with a document. And he's like, the princess says you're going to marry me so they can make relations between the two warring, and she's like, no, I'm not. And she reads the document and she realizes, in fact, yes, she is. And she literally just runs. She just takes off running. And I was like, I like that reaction. Just run.
If
anyway, it's delightful.
Told me I had to marry someone, I would go running off as well.
Right. Spoilers, he's not like a big evil brute guy, and she's, only on the verge of taking her vows and had some thoughts, and so it's working very well. It's a nice book. I'm enjoying it. What have you been reading, my friend?
Oh gosh. Well, number one, I need to blame you for me reading Divine Evil by Norah Roberts. That is a time I can't get back. No. Talking about books that don't hold up. That one does not hold up. Even if you got 10 people to lift it up, it does not get held up.
So wait, the Satanists don't like level out? Okay. It's fair.
The Satanists really don't level out the rest of it. It's very problematic.
Oh no.
But I'm not going to go further than that because I don't want, La Nora's people to come after me. But don't reread Divine Evil, people. It's a bad idea.
I think there's a whole category of books that like much like a lot of media we all have consumed through our lives, like just don't revisit it. Just leave it and that little nugget in your brain. Don't think too hard and don't revisit it. You'll be happy.
Just don't. But on the bright side, I did really loved Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, which is a Renaissance fair. It's the third in her Ren Fair series. Mm-hmm. And I think it's my favorite because it's Grumpy Sunshine. Yeah. And the Grumpy is the woman. It's April. And Sunshine is Mitch, who is kind of seen as a himbo. I mean, he is. He's very, very earnest and sweet. He is the nicest guy. And just utter sunshine, and he's a gym teacher, like he's normal and just really good-hearted, and he wears a kilt, and he's like really good with a sword, and he's just everything she needs, and he makes her grilled cheese, and he's a younger man, and it's just it was a perfect romance for me. I loved it, watching Mitch kind of coax April out, and April also kind of teach Mitch how to believe in himself. And it was lovely. So that kind of cleansed the palate from Divine Evil. And so did Sahira in Bloom, which is by one of my favorite authors and a friend of mine, Farah Heron. It's her YA romance debut about this like influencer girl who ends up working in a small town suburb or whatever of Toronto, several hours away. And she ends up getting involved in a flower arranging competition.
Ooh.
And it's kind of fish out of water because she's this like obsessed with influence. She's a fashion designer and an influencer. So it kind of is about her growth as a person as she falls in love with somebody in the town and figures out what her goals are. And she's very much a teenager. Like she's not the well-adjusted fictional. She like you can tell
like a real teenager.
Yeah, she's a real teenager. Like you can tell Farah has teenagers because it's like, oh my god, this kid is annoying, but in a good way. You know what I mean? In a relatable way where she's gonna learn lessons. Mm-hmm. But you'll definitely be like, oh god, real teenager. Oh.
I was a mess as a teenager. So whenever I see these very polished, cool teenagers in books, I'm like, I don't know you.
I mean, she's polished and cool, Sahira, but she's also just, ugh. And that's okay. Until she's not, which is...
You know how they don't always follow through because their frontal cortex, their frontal fully developed yet. And that's like your 5-year-old isn't perfect because they're impulsive and so like the plot moppet.
Yes, exactly. All those like overly articulate 5-year-olds who
like
yes, I've known a lot of articulate 5-year-olds, but not like that.
Right.
But so that was also a really fun book, and it's very bright and colorful, just like it has a beautiful cover as well because
that is a pretty cover. Love that one.
But lovely stuff. And so those are my recent reads.
Cool.
Marissa, have you read anything recently?
I devoured Nighthawk after our conversation, which you can see on Patreon. And I'm working through the Taming of Jessie Rose. So that both by Miss Bev, but honestly, like there's not really a whole lot that's pulling me right now. Like I started like 5 arcs and I'm just like, like my brain's not in the right place for it. So
it's rough, especially as it gets colder and gloomier,
darker too. Like it's so dark so early now. We've talked about like that. Woo,
I don't know
Dark at 4 p.m. is hard.
Right.
Like,
I don't know what it's like in other states, but here in Illinois and Chicago, I swear it's 3:30. Like I think it starts getting dim at 3:30. So by 4 o'clock, you're like, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But
to counter some of this, like, ugh, it's dark and I don't want to do anything and I don't want to read anything. I did something this month that I don't do. I reread the book.
Oh my gosh.
Do you reread? Do you guys reread?
Yes.
Ever? I like love a book and then I shelve it and it's like a museum. And then if I don't love it, I'll generally be like, someone else read this, and someone in my book club will take it and run with it and they'll love it. But like, I never really reread anything because I just feel like there's so many books on my things I should be reading that I can't go back.
Yeah.
But I reread A Promise of Fire by Amanda
Boucher. Okay.
Which I read a couple years ago, which is like the first in a trilogy. This love story goes on for 3 books. I reread this month and I was delighted. Maybe it's because I already knew it was going to be satisfying.
Yeah.
There was no like risk involved that I wasn't going to like it, but I reread it. It was very helpful to my mental state.
Good. See, that's exactly why a person rereads, right?
Right. I guess I should do this. Like,
yes. Because I reread A Devil in Winter every year because I always have a hankering for for that particular Lisa Kleypas book. And, I'll go back and do that. I like Jeannie Lynn's Jade Temptress. I read at least once a year as well because it's a favorite book. Because for that exact reason, it satisfied you already. It's comforting. You can predict the beats. You can quote lines along with it. It's the same reason I watch The Princess Bride over and over, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there's a huge comfort in that.
Mm-hmm. So maybe this is what I do now. Maybe I reread things. Who knows?
I have an old, like, it's not the first 3 in the Anne of Green Gables, but like my mom has this box, like this 3 book, but it's like 1, 2, and like 5. And I never realized there was a 3 and a 4 because I'd be like, oh, Anne and Gilbert get married. All this stuff that they're referencing. She must have like done like a little mini epilogue in a version I haven't read. No, there was 2 books missing. But I would like reread like all like in high school all the time. Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne's House of Dreams all the time.
Comfort snacks, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe I learned a valuable lesson this month.
Yes. Speaking of comfort snacks, so November is of course the month where we quasi celebrate Thanksgiving, where the Pilgrims gave the natives plague blankets. Wait, no.
Right. Right. And then so we all now eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Abraham Lincoln, right?
Yeah. Right. Because of Abraham. Yeah. Yes. Because of Abraham Lincoln, we all eat a lot of food in November.
Wow, the U.S. education system is doing.
We're doing amazing.
Amazing. So food books, and so what do we got on our plates?
Did you plan that?
I did not.
Good. That was very good. I have a recommendation that I did love this month. I read a book and it had food and I loved it. I have it on my phone, so I can't show the cover. It's called Pasties and Poor Decisions by Molly Harper. Now, I don't know if everyone knows what a pasty is, but I grew up in
I read it as pasties.
So this is a point of discussion.
Right.
One of them is a meat pie and the other is a thing that ladies dancing exotically. So my Northern Michigan education tells me it's pasties, but I am open to both. It reminded me a little bit of, it's by Molly Harper. It reminded me a little bit of the Tessa Bailey. It happened one summer, where the heroine of this is a very, very rich, kind of a Real Housewives type. She's married to a big, wealthy financier. And as the book opens, she is literally on a ferry with the few possessions that she has back to the crappy, bad weather island up in the middle of Lake Superior in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where she literally owns a house. And that's the only thing she owns in the world because her husband ran off with her yoga instructor and rude and is being like hauled in by the feds for embezzling all this money. So she has to like bail. She has nothing except this house that like years ago he bought her as a joke because it's like terrible. And so she like has to rebuild her life on this small hometown island. And there are pasties, which are very traditional up there. And I really loved it. It's a novella. It's very short and very delightful and pretty perfect.
Now, what do you put in a pasty?
So it's like a little meat pie. Usually it's chopped up beef and potato. And sometimes I think it's rutabaga or turnip.
Okay.
So the women used to make these, and then their husbands would take them out in their lunchboxes when they were building the Mackinac Bridge.
Oh.
And it had to stay warm because it's like 5 miles back to the land. So they had to be able to take it out there and have something that they could eat that would be warm and that also they could hold even if their hands were dirty. And because it's like a meat pie, it works really well.
That makes sense.
They're delicious. So I was really excited to see pasties representation in a book. But yes, Pasties and Poor Decisions by Molly Harper. Nice. It's on Hoopla too, which is where I found it. It was great. So
I feel like I'm always reading books with food in them because I just gravitate that way. Even if I don't realize there's food in it, there ends up being food in it. I feel like I'm being the Farrah Heron fan club today, but I got an arc of her next adult romance, Camila Knows Best, which comes out in March 2022. It's an Emma retelling, or as I like to refer to them, clueless retellings.
There's the line.
Yeah. And it's really, really lovely, like in terms of like her hitting the Emma clueless beats. I want to say that the love interest Rohan skews more Josh than he does Mr. Knightley. But aside from that, they have weekly Bollywood and biryani nights. And biryani, if you don't know, is a very spice-laden rice dish that's common across various parts of South Asia. And it can be vegetarian, it can have goat meat, it can have chicken, mutton, whatever you want to put in it. And so like there's constant descriptions of biryani in this book. Kashmiri biryani, Mumbai style biryani, Burmese biryani. I was like, oh my God. And then they make momos, which is a Nepalese dumpling. Like chili paneer, samosas, spring rolls. And Farrah just loves food in her books. Like her previous one, Accidentally Engaged, her heroine was also always making sourdough.
Yeah.
So it's like basically if you want to eat or just be hungry, read one of Farrah's books.
Did you like order a bunch of food while you were reading it? Did you go, well, I have to order this?
I guess wanted to, but the thing about that is I've been reading at night because I haven't wanted to be reading during the day. So at 10:30 p.m. in Chicago, you can't really order biryani to
right. Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have it with me, but I talked about it last time. Sweet Tea by Piper Hughley. Oh, yes. Delightful, very sweet Hallmark romance, but it is literally a love letter to Southern cooking. Mm-hmm. I was so hungry reading this book. There's just the whole premise is that, high powered, or it's the town that a lot of her books are based in, Milford. The heroine bailed young to go be a high powered lawyer in the big city. And she gets a call to go back and investigate this battle between two restaurants that are fighting over a sweet tea recipe. And so she's pulled back into the South and all of the her grandmother's food and cooking and culture. And there's just so many recipes. And the whole climax of the book is this great big fundraiser dinner. And I just wanted to order so much. I was I need greens and I want this grape pie recipe. I want to eat every single, she should have you read the book and then you order the meal and it all just comes. Yeah. You'd make $1 million. So I loved it. It's very good.
Let's see. I read The Boyfriend Project by Farrah Rashan. And I love all my Farrah Farahs. What can I say? And it's not really a food romance. It's like a sports romance, sort of, with a football player hero who wants to get back into football playing, and a nutritionist and personal trainer, Taylor, who's trying to get him up to speed. And the thing is, she keeps making healthy foods for him, and getting him to eat quinoa and stuff like that. And meanwhile, she herself stress bakes brownies, which I found hilarious. So she herself doesn't bother eating healthy. She just makes him eat healthy.
Funny. Relatable.
Really relatable. He's like, why aren't you eating these things? But also one of the things I really liked was it I can't remember. Oh, great. Now I can't remember the thing, but it involved keeping his favorite beer in her fridge or something. Like it was a very significant step in their relationship in terms of yeah. But of course now I can't remember and I can't tell it as well as you can. Like when you see, you're always good at like, this is the plot, this is the thing. And I'm always like, this happened. I'm
always trying to dial it down to like one sentence. Like what would the elevator pitch if I had to explain this to somebody be? Otherwise I'll talk for 4 years about a book. So
And of course there's stuff like Recipe for Persuasion by Sonali Dev, which takes place on a cooking competition. The heroine is running her father's Indian restaurant, which is basically running itself into the ground.
Curried Dreams, I remember that.
Curried Dreams, and she can't let go. She can't really let go, but she herself is a really wonderful modern chef. And it's about her letting go of her past while also embracing the good parts of it. Because her love interest is her first love, who's now a star soccer player, and her partner in the cooking competition. So yes, and there's a lot of heavy themes in it in terms of the heroine's relationship with her mother and like an abuse background with her mother. So tread cautiously. It's, because Sonali's books always have different layers. There's the joy and then there's the pain.
Right.
So but again, food, like I love how so many of us South Asian authors, you can't really extricate food from our culture and our experiences, which is I think why you see it pop up in so many of our books.
Right. Yeah. And it always makes me really hungry. Yeah. I really loved that series that Sonali did. I love the third book, which is Incense and Sensibility. Yeah. I really loved that one. And there's a whole lot of like her making him that oatmeal.
Oh yes.
You know that like the morning oats? Yeah, they made him. Yeah. I left that book going like, I guess I should eat oatmeal. Okay.
She didn't get me to do that. No. I also, and was it the second book where she was also brewing her specialty teas, I think? Or the first one? Somebody had specialty teas in that trilogy.
Right. Is it someone's mom?
Taught them how to blend teas.
Yeah. Anyway, that whole series is great.
Yes, it is. And Marissa, have you read anything with food in it lately? Or
well, I was gonna bring up Accidentally Engaged, but then you did.
Well, you can talk about it too. It's not like
I mean, I as a fan of the Great British Baking Show, but I don't watch it without Mel and Sue. So like everyone always talks, and I'm like, but I miss Mel and Sue, and so that competition aspect of it really and then the fact that she was, with the sourdough and the bread and the food. And I'm a person that I like to read and like snack.
Yeah.
So reading just kind of makes me kind of munchy. So whenever there's like food in it, I'm like, okay, well, this needs to be like a book with a meal, not like a little snack here and there.
Totally.
So definitely that one. And like, I would say not a romance, but Arsenic and Adobo. It's cozy mystery. But her descriptions of food, and it's like set around like the restaurant, and like when they're trying to solve the mystery, they go to all the different restaurants in the town. So they're like eating all these different kinds of food. Like at one point they eat meatloaf, I think like meatloaf or something. And she's like, I'm not a fan. He's like, you haven't tried mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I also like, I like the rise of like books about competition cooking, I think are interesting. Like Sonali did it. And then who wrote Battle Royal? Lucy Parker?
Lucy Parker, yeah.
Yeah, Battle Royal is one of the best things I read all year. And it's we could do a whole episode about like bakery romances, but that book made me really want to go to like over the top London themed cocktail bakery.
Yeah.
And have wild drinks and cupcakes. So that's a good,
awesome.
Competition show too. So
yeah, because I love Bake Off as well, and I am watching it now because I love Noel Fielding. He is like my goth Muppet soulmate. Like, it's just, if I was British male and like 5 feet taller, I'd be no hole.
I've also been watching Nailed It.
Oh yeah.
Love Nailed It.
That is, I don't know how I didn't watch it before, but like over the summer, I like marathon all of it. I'm like, please inject more into my veins.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I like how it's not mean spirited.
Yes.
No.
And it's like, she's like, we're all laughing together because we're all terrible.
Yes.
That's important to me. Like, I don't like mean-spirited competition shows, and actually Bake Off is getting meaner. Like, not Noel and Matt Lucas, who I don't like as much as Mel and Sue, but I want to say that like Paul Hollywood's getting meaner, and it's kind of starting to. But luckily, it kind of feels like everybody else is kind of pulling together more as a result.
Yeah,
I'm like they have to dial it back because the whole joy of Bake Off is that it's loving and
it's a nice show.
It's a nice show. It's like, don't be not nice.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
And like they're like when Mary Berry was there, is like they were. What I liked is whenever like anyone was getting kind of something critical, like when they made the pasties that one time, like everyone's pasty was terrible. Yeah. And Mel was like, "Can I take an extra one and put it in her pocket?" He had pockets full of inedible pasties.
Inedible pasties.
He's like, "Can I take one for the road?" Nice. In her blazer pocket.
I want more like kind media, you know?
Yeah.
Like in Nailed It, they're always, even if you do a terrible job, they're just so happy for you. And that's nice. Because most of us would not be able to recreate a Pinterest legendary thing in 45 minutes with the camera in our face. So like you did an amazing job.
Yes.
Yeah.
You put something on the plate, you did an amazing job.
Yeah. So then there's the and our Thanksgiving book club book is actually food related. A Match Made for Thanksgiving by Jackie Lau.
Yes.
Oh my
Which
God.
is what I'm going to read next. I think I've read it before, but I'm going to read it again and probably enjoy it all over again. So.
Same. I'm going to read it probably shortly, like the week before book club. So, which is next week. I don't
listen, I'm so behind, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't forget, but Jackie's books are also all food forward and food related. And like, you can't go wrong. Like Ice Cream Lover, like her whole the Baldwin Village series, the Cider Bar Sisters, Holidays with the Wongs. Like there's so much food. I actually took a trip to Canada before the panini to specifically go hang out in Baldwin Village because Jackie kept talking about the food there. Yeah. So I stayed relatively walking distance. I actually met Jackie and Farah. we went out and like had sushi someplace, and I hit up some of the spots or the inspired spots that Jackie mentioned in her books. Like, I think like honestly, like doing like romance food tours or things like that are fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She could probably put one together and like, people would be thrilled.
Yeah, because Lord knows her Instagram is already that way. Oh my gosh. She's always like posting photos of the donuts she's eating or her gelato or her dinners. Yeah. I just like want to stalk Jackie all over Toronto and eat what she eats.
Just follow.
Well, and the pie one, the Pie Day party, that's when you have to eat with like a full meal. You can't just nibble. You have to like.
You have to have,
because you're going to be hungry anyway. You might as well just eat.
Yeah, right. You might as well just eat. That's like our slogan for today. Like, just eat all these things. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like pie. Yeah, because pie. I want to say that Pie Day and Ice Cream Lover are in that same series. Yeah, they're both Baldwin Village books. Yeah, so you will want to eat through that entire. It's like you want ice cream and then you want pie, then you want pie a la mode. It's just.
I mean, I always want pie anyway. So like,
and I actually did try durian after reading Man versus Durian, because one of the places that Jackie took us when I was visiting was the ice cream shop that had durian flavored gelato. And one tiny scoop, and I was like, I can never do that again.
I've never had it. Is it okay?
It's very strong, very pungent. Like, and I like bitter things. Like, we have a lot of bitter vegetables in India, but that I was just like, that's an acquired taste. I don't know that I'll acquire.
Like, I don't need that skill. Maybe,
I did it once. Everything is always worth trying once. And,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they've had it on Chopped a few times.
Yeah,
Yes, they definitely have.
And like someone will take, and they'll like crack it. They're like, oh,
right. Yeah.
I wanted to point out one more food romance that I just a minute ago remembered. Courtney Milan's The Duke Who Didn't.
The sauce.
Which is a book about, if you read this book and you don't come out of it wanting brown sauce, like you didn't read the book, read it again. Like, I love this cover.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it. Yes.
Oh, and can I say, like, this is 100% spoilers. The moment when he tells her, and she's like, I knew. Everyone knows.
Yes.
I mean, you're a half Asian Duke. Of course everyone knows who you are.
Right.
We're making fun of you when you call you the Duke.
I genuinely clapped at the perfect. It's first of all, like, food be damned. It's a really excellent romance.
It really is.
And then also there's a whole festival and there's a whole thing with brown sauce and
at that moment.
It was a great twist.
And he's just sitting there like angsting, like, oh no, they're all my friends and I've been lying to them about my identity. And they're all like, yeah, whatever.
We know. Yeah. Okay. Duh. Yeah. Great.
It's like, how many half Asian dukes in England are there?
Right. Like,
there's only a certain amount of Asians in our entire country.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, really? Yeah.
Really.
Oh my gosh. Great book though.
Great. Yeah, agreed.
Is the sequel ever? Is there a sequel to that? Did it ever?
Sequel. It's just the next in the series.
Okay.
I think that's The Devil Comes Courting, right? In the next book. No?
Is it?
No, wait, no. Isn't it like he's a ship person? There's a ship person. Really great at this, Mala. Or Suleikha. Wow.
It's going great. I'm gonna look that up afterwards because I really liked this. And I would like to read more of it. So
but yeah, I don't think there's any brown sauce in the next book.
Yeah.
But before we actually started broadcasting, we were talking about like what we had for lunch, and I had pizza, which made me think about pizza related. Are there pizza related romances?
There should be. There aren't.
There are.
Like a heart. Like it seems really like there. You can get a heart shaped pizza on Valentine's Day, and I just feel like you should use that in a romance.
Absolutely.
Right?
There should be more pizza romance. And I was saying that I remember a made for TV movie. I think it stars Cherie Appleby from Roswell, who's now a director. I think it was called A Pizza My Heart. It's about the kids of two rival pizzeria owners.
Okay. It writes itself, guys. Like
right? It really does.
You get to see them like having a pizza off.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
Like, who's going to sell more pizza?
Right? Yeah.
Do you think they say I do at the wedding instead of I do? Sorry.
You're writing these ideas down, right? Like you have a little like things I need to write. Pizza romance. I also wanted to give a special shout out to a category of food romance that I couldn't stop thinking about this month, which is like beverage heroines. Like there's I just finished reading the new Lenora Bell, and the heroine of that is a winemaker.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Tessa Dare's brewery. She wants to start a brewery. And then there's so this is a book that I've not seen many places, and I had to order it when we read it for book club. So this is Lady X's Cowboy by Zoe Archer, aka Eva Lee, who I love. And the heroine of this is a brewer.
Ooh.
And I learned a lot about brewing from this book, and her research was great, and like how important the water source is.
Oh yeah,
and the hops and everything. So I feel like that's one way you can have like an independent heroine in olden times. Here is like I'm independent and I want to brew something. I want to make wine. Yeah. This is a business you could do, and I just love it.
There's actually a woman-owned distillery here in Chicago called Koval.
Yay! I live right around the corner. Yeah,
we should go on a field trip to Koval.
We should. And we should.
Yeah, so we can write our own brewery heroines. I know Mia Hopkins also has a beer-based trilogy starting with Thirsty, which is starring he's an ex-con and he gets into beer making. Okay. And decides to open his own bar. That's a lovely, sexy series. Oh gosh, I just thought of another one that has to do with brewing, and of course, it's right out of my brain.
There's a place in Arizona in like the Scottsdale area, and they sell prickly pear beer, and it is pink.
Oh my god!
Ooh, I want it. You know,
I can't remember the name of it. I have it in a picture somewhere. Of course, I'm not a beer person, so I didn't drink it, but I looked at it and it was pretty.
Yeah, I would drink a pink beer. As I said, I like to try anything once.
right. I think we've discussed before how like I'm a beer person, but like I have not yet ever had a good strawberry beer. Was it you? Anyway, we were talking about how like I've had blueberry beers that are delicious and other fruit beers, but I always go, ooh, a strawberry beer. And I'm always like, I hate it.
like strawberry lambics or something.
Right. Like it never hits me the way I want it to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But shout out to all the brewery heroines who are all apparently all through, romance lit.
Yes, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, oh, man, I lost it. It was in my head. I had Thirsty in my head and then another book, and the other book went away.
There's a recent.
Oh, got it. Sorry, it's back. Angelina Lopez's Filthy Rich series. It's a winemaking family in a wine country in a fictional kingdom that's kind of near Spain, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all about wine country and winemaking. That's where I was at with that, and vineyards, and it definitely made me want to drink a nice glass of red. So that's another one I highly recommend, and you do learn a lot about winemaking and owning a winery.
Mm-hmm. There's a Reese Ryan recent, I think it's a Harlequin series that has to do with like bourbon people, like bourbon makers and all that.
Yes, the Bourbon Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I read one of those and I really liked it. Why didn't I read the rest? Well, I'll add that to the list. Okay.
So I love the cover for A Reunion of Rivals.
Oh, yes.
That has an amazing cover.
Reese Ryan has some of the best covers in the business. Like her Harlequin Desires are all gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I like food and drinks.
Me too. I almost feel like we should have like had snacks and beverages for this chat.
Yes. I'm
getting hungry now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we might as well start wrapping it up a little. What's next on all of our TBRs?
So I ordered this from Love Sweeter and I haven't read it yet because but I'm going to read the new Joanna Shoup, which I know I will love with my whole heart. And so I'm going to read the Jackie Lau Thanksgiving book. And then I'm going to read Joanna Shoup, The Lady Gets Lucky, which just came out. Yep. I'm really excited. I loved the first book in this series, so I'll love it. I always love a Joanna Shoup. So.
Oh yeah. I still love the bowling alley stuff.
You cannot touch the Uptown Girls. Like that's perfect. It's a perfect series.
It is a perfect series. I love the Uptown Girls series so much.
Yeah. So I'm going to read this one. I'm excited.
Cool. I'm finishing up The Inheritance of Orchidaea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. It is not a romance. It's like magical realism, and it's Zoraida's first adult fiction, and it's God, it's just beautiful. And there's food in it too, like because they're Ecuadorian. So, another food culture. Yeah. And so there's like a lot of, I know like vegetarians might be grossed out, but there's a lot of like crackling pork skin and whatnot, which actually to me sounded delicious because I'm a terrible Hindu. And I was like, ooh, cut me off some roast pig, please.
Right. Pig skin. Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah. It just sounded really good. And like potato things and whatnot, and like avocado, and just good Lord, it made me hungry reading this too. And then of course I have Match Made in Thanksgiving by Jackie Lau, an Arc of Princes Are Wild by Jess Michaels. So I'm going to dip my toe back into historical romance. And then I also have on deck If You Love Something by J.C. Ellis. It's an arc of her next book that is fake dating with like a divorce. It's a gay romance, and the hero has to like fake date his ex-husband for something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's like stepping in to like, they have to like help each other out in that respect. And so it's a second chance romance with fake dating.
Huh?
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's like tropey, but like with gay characters. So that's just, I don't know. I love that. Proving that, tropes aren't
exclusive to MF.
Thank you. I mean,
Tropes are for everyone.
Thank
Tropes
you.
are
Yes. That's where I was going with that sentence.
Yeah.
everyone has the right to there's only one bed.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
precisely. Everyone deserves enemies to lovers and friends to lovers, and there's only one bed and fake dating.
Snowed in.
Christmas. Single All the Way with Michael Urie is coming out on Netflix? No, not Netflix. Oh, it is Net. I can't remember if it's Netflix or Lifetime. Probably one of those two channels. But it's a Christmas movie with fake dating.
Because I remember I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also a gay romance that involves someone bringing his best friend home to try and pretend the best friend and he are together, and they end up sharing one bed for a bit, and it just looks really zany and cute.
Yeah. There's only one bed, you know.
And his whole family, like unbeknownst to Michael Urie, I feel like his whole family is shipping him with his best friend.
Yeah.
Which I think is adorable.
So there's going to be probably a big duh moment in the end.
Exactly. I would hope so. Like, duh, we all knew this was coming. How did you not know?
Right. I love that.
I think that there was a Hallmark movie 2 years ago, and The Christmas House, and it had what's his name from Mean Girls, and so like I didn't see the whole thing, but like the main couple, it's a second chance, and she has a son from her ex-husband, and so the guy comes back but then it's his brother and his brother's husband, and so the right at the beginning they're getting off the plane, and he's like, well, should we tell them? I don't know. Let's wait until the adoption papers are finalized. But I was like, because they started to make it, and then they were like, let's wait till the adoption papers are finalized because they were adopting a baby.
Yay.
So I was like, that was a nice little trick.
Yeah.
But it was, from what I remember, I heard that it was one of the best written Hallmark movies because it was so normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, since we're on the subject and we're, Love Hard on Netflix, which was Nina Dobrev and I want to say his name is Johnny Yang. I probably got it messed up because again, my memory is terrible. Yeah. But it's another really, really well written holiday rom-com about a dating columnist who gets catfished. She flies across from LA to Lake Placid to surprise this guy she's been talking to online, only to find out that he's like this geeky, not quite as hot dude that, you know, he borrowed his friend's picture. But it's really delightful, and spoiler, she does end up with a geek. Like and
that's what I was like when I heard that. I'm like, okay, I have to watch it because I would be really mad if she didn't end up with him.
No, it is so well written. It's a laugh riot. There's a funny grandma. It's really well done, and I really enjoyed it. Oh, and they sing a duet that is because they go Christmas, like his family is really into Christmas caroling, and they're forced to sing Baby It's Cold Outside, and she's really resistant because she's like, this song is rapey, and he's like, just sing your part and I'll do the rest. And then he starts changing the lyrics so they're non-rapey.
Oh, nice. I love it.
It is the best little sequence where she's singing the regular part and he's making up consensual lyrics to it.
Oh, lovely.
It's
yes, please. Yes, please do that.
Yes. So definitely watch Love Hard on Netflix.
Love Hard.
And I think I saw like a duetted TikTok a couple like last Christmas, and it was the guy, and it's like, and it was similar to that, where he's like, but if you don't want to stay, you can go on. I'm totally cool. And he's like, well, I wonder if it was a play off that.
Maybe, who knows? Because it's very pop culture savvy, this particular movie. Like they argue about Die Hard being a good Christmas movie, etc. It's all of that kind of stuff, and I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah. So, awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds great. It's on my my watch list. I just need it to get a little colder before I can get into holiday movies.
Oh yeah. December we'll probably get more into all of these things.
Yeah.
We will have read and watched more holiday content. Woot. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and wrap up this particular episode of Other People's Books.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for listening to us and watching us. Thank you, Marissa, for having us. Hopefully we'll get to see you in store sometime soon.
Yeah.
And a reminder that if you want to buy any of these books that we've talked about, you can order them through the Love Sweet Arrow website.
Yes. And we have the ability to get you audiobooks and ebooks through Kobo and Libro FM. So if there's a book that we mentioned that is not available in print, you can still support the bookstore that way.
And you guys are doing really cute holiday boxes.
Yes,
am I right?
We are. Yes. So we brought back the enemies to lovers trope. And we're doing the only one bed trope. And you can get a small or a regular size box. And each box, unless you request otherwise because of allergies, we totally will switch out the candle. Each one has a custom candle.
It's not this candle, but it's this company.
Whoops. Yes, Big White Yeti did the
Yeti.
enemies to lovers.
I can. I can't even turn it the right direction.
Yeah. So that particular candle is called the label says "Deck the Halls, Kiss Your Enemies."
Oh,
it smells
I love
really good.
Love that.
And then the Noveliers one is with the only one bed. So that's one bed for Christmas. And it says only one bed. It has like sheets in the background. It has like spices and cottony scent. And the enemies to lovers box is called "It's the Most Contentious Time of the Year."
Ooh.
Yay!
You should sing that. Like
it's the most contentious time
of the year.
I believe this. Yes, this is true.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, you should pick those up if you're interested. It's on our website.
Yay!
Yay! All right, everyone. It was great seeing you all. See you next month.